I want to get this video out sooner than today, but the whole mood of the whole Bargello and Sonia banner thing kind of got to me, so I apologize. I do want to talk about it though, hopefully talking about it made me feel better. I don't think this is like a bad intent thing from Square Enix, because this banner structure for Ian right now is the exact same as what Erica and Adana EX have in JP. And so over there in JP, Bargello and Sonia was the first iteration of dual memory traveler, and they were together, and the pity was still 150. But there was one difference, is that you can't pity for any other past memory traveler besides just Bargello and Sonia. After those two, the next time in JP a dual memory banner would happen is with Erica and Adana EX, and with that introduce a new banner system, which is the exact same format as how the current EN system is for Bargello. I don't recall anyone in JP complain about it, because maybe that back then like the hype for Erica was too big to complain about it. And not to mention, for the free banner, you can now like focus on one, so you won't get screwed over by the other character and stuff. So when the Erica and Arane system arrived in JP, it was very much more received. And every time a dual memory happened in the future, it'll always take on the new system that Erica and Adani does, which is split banner but share pity. And because of there was no complaint when the system was introduced, I think the EN team decided to implement it early, because it's not strictly worse. You can now focus on one character better, but they just didn't realize that it wouldn't receive so badly. It's also kind of funny though, because I think that both time a big controversy has happened, the Adele situation and now the Bargello situation, is both because they implement a new banner system too early. The first was Adele with the pay step up. Pay step up are a regular occurrence now in both version, but back then, since the game was whole new and all, and there was a collab, they were still expecting a free banner, a free step up for it, but they implemented it too early, so a lot of drama happened. And so the same thing is happening to the Bargello and Sonia banner too, is that they just implement the new system a bit too early again. So it's kind of funny how both time it can be prevented if they implement it just a bit later instead of a bit earlier. But in the end, everyone did get compensated, so I guess it'll work out fine in the end. Bargello, a great character in both the story and the gameplay. Perseverante is your main attacking move, but this move consumes a lot of XP. You can't spam this move constantly. The potency can go up to 2 times 600, but in a longer fight, the XP drain will be detrimental to your entire team. If you are on a break rotation where you know you're gonna kill the enemy, then it's fine to just go ahead and use Perseverante. If you're not, however, though, then to set up for his other nuke, which is Astuto. It's not as much damage as Perseverante, but it doesn't consume XP like Perseverante is. Dafika. When I search this move, the name of it is gun or something, I think. Dafika is good for shield breaking and not for damaging, because the potency of this move is very low. But for AoE, it's extremely good because for hit dagger win. But for a single target though, I don't think the SP cost of Dafika is worth it for a full hit. If there is only one enemy and you want to shield break with Bargello, then I think using Astuto, even though it's only a 3 hit, is better than using Dafika. Give the signal is what makes Bargello so good. We have a lot of content right now where I think it's very easy for a unit to damage cap. It doesn't even have to be on a dagger team. His buff is so good you can even bring him onto other team. Like for example, in Spear team, Roland would really benefit from this because he's already very easy hitting 99k damage twice. So now he's gonna hit 150k damage twice from this buff and from Bargello passive. And then there's Debilitate. Outside of a dagger team, this move is what makes Bargello so easy to bring into other team comp, because he provides attack buff, damage cap buff, defense debuff, and also active attack, well not active, attack buff on his passive too. So, because of how versatile his kit is, if your DPS need more damage cap, regardless whether they are deep or not, you will bring Bargello because he also provides other utility other than just damage cap. The first passive is nice, just an unconditional 10% damage out to everyone. The second passive is similar to what Witcher is, and the requirement isn't that big of a deal either, because the time when you need this passive to be active the most is when the enemy is broken anyway, so it's all good. And for his ultimate, which is speaking of his ultimate, don't go for his ultimate, go for his A4 first, okay? You get a Bargello dupe, go straight for A4. His A4 is the best A4 in the game. Go get his A4 first before even touching his ultimate level 10. Right now, yes, hitting damage cap is common, but not like super common yet. But later on in JP point, we get much more stat power creep. Hitting power, like the cap is just so easy now. Getting his A4 would just like make your DPS like just get it. And also you don't really need ult 10 anyway. Like ult 10 might look good to get to charge up, but it's not really applicable in battle. When I use it in battle, you only use it once most of the time anyway, so it's just much more worth it to go for A4 than go for ultimate level 10. Bargello's main weakness is his SP problem, because both his buff and Rafika and also his nuke, everything is just too costly for him to do it, hence why his A4 has the SP regeneration in it. It's also why Sonya has the SP restore on her passive, so you can put Sonya behind Bargello, switch out Bargello for Sonya, and then Sonya will restore SP to him too. So when you use Bargello, be careful of your SP cost. Currently, Ian, he is the best dagger DPS in the game. 2 times 600 is super duper good, and you're not gonna beat that anytime soon. Well, until Throne and then Pedo arrive in the future, and then the whole torch point thing. Also a great buffer too for any team comp because of damage cap buff. In JP, he's not like the best optimal dagger DPS anymore. I would say the number 1 slot go to either Throne or Pedo depending on the situation. And also his damage cap buff got power creep very recently by CotC from Octopath 2. Basically, it's the same as Bargello buff, but like much better. So to read it out fully, is all ally, not just front row, all ally 15% attack up, axe damage up, 30% potency up, 30,000 damage cap up, and also guarantee crit. It's so good that you might even want to run CotC in place of Bargello on the dagger team, or you can run them both together for even more damage cap. But Bargello hasn't got his upgrade and his 6-star upgrade yet, so he will get stronger eventually in the future when Square Enix decide to release his 6-star upgrade. Since they are similar, I shall compare Witcher and Bargello together. For inflicting resistance down, Witcher is better than Bargello is. Bargello is only a 2-hit and also just like for 2 turns, while Witcher is you can go to either 3 turns or 9 turns depending on how lucky you are. For the strongest move, Witcher is his 4-hit sword, and for Bargello is his Perseverante. But due to how costly Perseverante is, you can't spam as much, so I would say that Witcher is better, even though it's not as much damage as Perseverante. And last is the passive. Both of these passives are very easy to maintain, and Bargello has a bonus of having damage cap up in this one. Except for Bargello, his damage cap part on the passive is split into 2 skill rather than 1 skill like Witcher. So in conclusion, pull for Bargello because of how strong he is, and you can go for his A4 too. He will be beneficial to a lot of your DPS now, and his A4 will be beneficial for any of your DPS from now all the way to Celestia even.